A lot of women tell me that they think their bodies are just being unpredictable. And at first, they chalk it up to being stressed, juggling so many things, and being so busy. Maybe their period shows up late, or the next month their period is heavy, and then the month after that it gets light and it's practically gone. Maybe they can't sleep through the night anymore, or they get that weird feeling in their legs, or they keep forgetting where they put the keys, or they walk into the kitchen and they think, huh? Why am I here? Why am I in the kitchen? Brain fog. The truth is that these are often the signs of menopause. They're the very early signs, and often we miss them, and then they snowball into bigger issues. When I first started going through it, I honestly didn't recognize what was happening. For context, I was 42 when I had my last baby. So I wasn't really thinking about perimenopause. So there I go. I'm hitting my mid 40s. I'm running my company. I'm raising my 7 children. I'm trying to do it all. And I thought at the times when symptoms were coming up, I just thought I'm stressed in terms of juggling so much, um, family business, the business of business, the business of life. But unfortunately, the bigger truth was that my hormones were shifting and my body was whispering before it started shouting. And I really went to a dark place. And I wish I had paid closer attention, because honestly, I would have saved myself a lot of tears, a lot of pain, a lot of frustration. And that's why I want to talk to you today about the 5 signs of early perimenopause that you may well be ignoring, just as I did, not even due to your own fault, but just lack of education, and what you can do about it right now. Okay, so the first one I kind of hinted earlier, and that sign 1 is the cycle change. We expect our periods to be consistent, and even if they're not perfect, when they start showing up late or lighter or heavier, it's easy to shrug it off and think, well, it's just life is busy. You feel a little bit more stretched. Maybe you just overdid things. But if your body is breaking its own pattern after years of regularity, that is information that you need to take notice of, because it is your hormones beginning to shift. Cycles are incredibly personal. I know that. They've been your body's rhythm for decades, and a change, even a subtle one, is worth noticing. Yet most of us, as I said, even me, we ignore it, partly because we've just been taught to just get on with it. But those early whispers, what your body is trying to tell you, matter. Okay, so what I want you to do, if you feel this is happening to you, is start logging everything, okay? So start logging for the last 3 months, your start date, how heavy or light your period is, any extra symptoms. You don't have to overcomplicate it. You can either put it in a little notebook, or a phone note will do. You can even use an app these days as well. That record is so powerful, because if you do choose to go to your doctor or to another type of professional, that record will help them ascertain where you are, how you're feeling, and what can be done about it. Okay. We need to have that data to find the clear pattern. And also, it will help you understand that you are not just imagining things. You have to trust your body. You have to trust your intuition. All right. So that's the first step. Track, ladies. So the second sign I wanted to bring up with you are the sleep changes. And this is uber important. And yet in some ways the most complicated, because as career professionals and having children, most of us, and running families and just so much in our lives, our sleep may well have already been disrupted, and we may have got into bad patterns. So as I said, it might be a little bit tricky. But if you are having trouble falling asleep or you're waking up 2 or 3 times or more, you need to take note of that. You need to start writing that data down and thinking, light bulb, it could be hormones. All right. So you may well be finding, when you're trying to sleep, pains in your body, tingling in your feet. Obviously there's one like night sweats. Who doesn't know about that? But that's not really always the most obvious one first. Okay. You could be in a deep sleep and then boom, you feel like you've been yanked out of it. And then you can only fall asleep much later on in the night. So I really want you to take note of what is happening in sleep exactly. Write it down the next day. The terrible thing about poor sleep is that over time, it's not just annoying, it's literally eating away at your patience, your energy, your clarity. All right. Sleep is the foundation for everything, for our energy, for our moods, even how we metabolize food. Hello, hormonal midlife belly fat. um, and during perimenopause, hormonal challenges actually really, really profoundly affect sleep unless you know the natural lifestyle changes that you can make to help it. Okay. This is because progesterone, which helps us relax and sleep deeply, becomes dippy, goes up and down and unpredictable. And then cortisol, the stress hormone, can also rise at night. Add in life's usual demands, and suddenly your body does not rest the way it used to. And I personally used to lie awake until 3 in the morning, staring at the ceiling. I'd be rehearsing, tomorrow's to-do list. And then I think, oh my God, I'm going to be so tired. And that just made me even more fearful about the next day. And, as we tend to do, um, I thought I did start to blame myself. Oh, it's my fault. Maybe I was drinking coffee too late. But even when I cut the caffeine out, it still kept happening. That's when I learned that this wasn't about willpower, it's about biology. Knowing that gave me permission to stop blaming myself and start creating a better wind down routine. For me, that meant switching off screens earlier, keeping my bedroom cooler, adding some simple breathing exercises before bed, for just very simple, you can just do for a minute before you put your head to sleep. And most importantly, codes here, ladies, take a friggin' pen and paper because it's going to help you. Supplements, for example, magnesium and the liquid tart cherry juice. Oh my God, it's a game changer. If you're having struggles with sleeping right now, I cannot recommend it enough. It will help you immediately. Deep breath for me there because my sleep got bad. And when I got that combination, it started working for me. I was like, this is a game changer. I've got to tell the world. Anyway, so the next sign I want to talk about that could show that you're in perimenopause is your mood and your memory changes. If you find yourself feeling that more anxious, snippy, more than you used to, obviously we have moments, we're tired, but like over and above what your normal way of behaving is, if you feel like you're snapping at things that had never bothered you before, or you're suddenly forgetting names, and that you feel you're just less capable, honestly, it's not you falling apart. It's not personal. It's a white bitch, honestly, but it's your hormones. Okay. So one of my clients, a brilliant executive, she told me her brain had been hijacked. She could present to a boardroom, but then she would break down in tears in the car on the way home. She thought she was literally losing it. I know that so many of us can really resonate with that. And, when she came to me, she found out, oh my God, it is my hormones. It's her hormones talking to her, and she could get that help instead of hiding and thinking that there's a problem with her. She's just not that same person. She's getting old. It was a game changer again. All right. So mood changes aren't just emotional. They literally affect your confidence and the way that you see yourself in the boardroom, in a business meeting, in a shop, like with your kids, your partner. It really, really needs to be dealt with. Do not suffer in silence. All right. So, um, as I said, if you do start noticing things like that, again, I want you to make a note of them, journal it. All right. Um, I don't want you to think, I'm just not as sharp as I used to be. Honestly, it's because, again, estrogen and progesterone are fluctuating, which literally affecting the neurotransmitters in your brain that regulate mood, memory, and focus. You can get this back. Don't think this is the end of it for you. Okay. So again, being aware of this for myself as well, it gave me so much relief because I was like, my God, I can do so much. And then suddenly here I am and I'm like all over the place. It was just really depressing, quite honestly. So You're not losing yourself, ladies. You're just navigating a change, and understanding it is the first step to getting control back. So let's go to the next sign, and that is body composition changes. You're eating the same way, you're exercising the same way, but your jeans are tighter, especially around your tummy. And that's again to do with estrogen and insulin working differently than they did before. It's not a moral failing, all right? It's not you being lazy. It's not you shoving food down your mouth, or, stop labeling yourself, stop judging yourself. Okay. Is literally your chemistry. I know how devastating this can feel because I went through it myself. And I remember tugging at my clothes in the mirror, convinced I just needed more willpower to restrict more, to do this more, to do more exercise, and it really did chip away at my confidence. What helped me, and now what helps my clients, is shifting to the small focus of doable, small changeable things that don't overwhelm you, so you can still run and have a constructive, productive lifestyle without thinking, oh my God, I've got to redo my diet. I've got to redo my exercise. Okay. So I want to give you a couple of things that you can do today. You can just take away from me today and you can start immediately. And the first one of those, super important, is I want you to start getting at least 30 grams of protein with your 3 meals a day. All right. And I also want you to add in 2 strength sessions a week, even if you just start with body weight. It's the starting. It's just familiarizing your body. Just get up and do it. All right. You just need to give your body the right signals so that it can fuel you differently. The muscles will grow. You're adding that with the protein, and it will, honestly, you'll feel the change so quickly. Protein is such a hero because many of us as women don't realize that we actually need more of it in perimenopause because, again, of the hormone shifts. We're losing a considerable amount of muscle just by being alive, just because we've hit like 35, 40 and up. I know, totally sucks, totally not fair. But again, it comes down to the way muscle metabolizes. And so, yeah, get in with the protein. Don't be scared of it. You're not going to turn into a big muscle man. That would take so much work and so much protein. I guarantee you're not going to get there. All right. But it will help your mood. It will help your bones. It will help your, did I say mood? Did I say mood? Did I say mood? Because really that's the most difficult thing that we're dealing with right now. So what I want you to do next, and I've kind of intimated this through this video, but if you are nodding along, you're thinking, my God, I do have these symptoms. They're showing up in my life. I want you to write it down. I want you to track them. Okay. So again, whether you want to go and look it up, whether you go to a doctor, whether you go to another professional, whether you come to me, we will already have some data for you to look at, right? It will give a better and clearer picture because unfortunately, with perimenopause, there isn't a specific hormonal test that you can take to show that you're actually in it. Again, really annoying. But your behaviors and your body's behaviors will actually indicate whether you are or not. All right. So, as I said, start with the basics, track. All right. And then the other 2 things I mentioned was, again, eating more protein. That's the 30 grams plus, adding 2 resistance trainings a week. All right. This is not complicated, all right? This is not a drastic overhaul. Just start there, okay? I know, darlings, it can feel so overwhelming. I remember feeling that way myself, like I was losing myself and just being pulled into this fog, and I didn't know how to get out of it. But as I said, once I had that clarity that it was my body changing, it's not me, it's hormones, and I started working with my hormones and with my body as it is now, then things started to click and I got my confidence back. And I know that I repeat this over and over. If you're watching my videos or you read anything or you work with me, you know that I say this so often that because I don't want you to be disheartened. Perimenopause and menopause are not based on age. Honestly, darlings, they are 100% a hormonal shift. You do have control over how you experience it. And it isn't, woo-woo ideology. This is data-proven, science-backed, all right? And again, as I always say, this should give you relief. This should give you optimism, all right? Because you can take control. So I want to recap. Let's look at the changes. Your menstrual cycle changes, your mood swings, your memory glitches, the shifts in the body composition. All of these together are all signs that, yes, you are in fact in perimenopause, all right? And that your body is evolving and asking for new support. And the sooner you recognize that and the sooner you make changes, the sooner you'll get your spark back and any belly fat that you might well have added because of the hormonal changes. So as I said, I want you to feel confident this can be dealt with, because midlife isn't the end of the road. It's not the end of the story for you. It's the beginning of a new chapter, is where we get our power and our voice, and we no longer have to be people pleasers. All right. And so I want you today to think about which of these signs are showing up right now in your life, right? Write them down. And I also want you to share those signs that are coming out to you in the comments below. All right. So we can share with our other women to help each other, to know we're not crazy and that we're not alone. That's so important. And I have down below, I have a free 5 signs tracker that you can use and download. I also will have a belly fat, a 4-week get rid of the belly fat PDF down below as well. So, you'll have those as my gifts to you to turn up and share them with people who need them. All right. And if you are anxious about what's happening to you, I do encourage you to book a discovery call with me. We will gently explore what challenges you're facing and what goals you're hoping to reach and how you want to get better. And I'll offer thoughtful insights and supportive guidance to help you take meaningful, manageable steps. And I will drop that in the link below. Just simply know you are not alone. This is a growing informational era. We are not our grandparents, our mothers, we have to stick together as a community. So as I said, thank you so much for listening to this. Send it to anyone who also might be suffering as well. And I will see you in the next one. Until next time, guys, I'll see you soon. Bye.